Even if you got map knowledge and common sense, surviving in the Goblin Caves can be tough. And I mean painfully tough. And that's why I'm going to teach you how to go from this to this. If you want to be a true loot goblin, the rogue is honestly going to be your best friend. Its hide ability paired with the stealth perk is perfect for avoiding any unwanted attention. However, if you're just starting out, I'd highly suggest running a cleric. This bad boy has a pretty decent starting weapon, a shield to block any incoming attacks, as well as a whole range of spells you can use to absolutely dominate. As for their armor, their robes are, well, when you're first starting out, I would highly suggest putting on the Blunt Weapon Mastery for your perk. It really helps to gain an extra edge on enemies and players when you first start out and don't have any coins to spend. If you're reaching levels 5 to 9, you now have access to about 2 slots, and Holy Aura is a must. That extra 15 armor rating will quite literally be the difference between coming out victorious in battle or losing all your precious loot. As for levels 10 to 20, it's pretty much just a grind just to get those last perks ready for you. However, I'd highly suggest slowly switching what you have at the moment to Perseverance, Holy Aura, Advanced Healer, and Protection from Evil, as by the time you reach these levels, you'll be at least a bit more experienced not to get absolutely ass blasted by anything roaming in groups larger than 2. As for the abilities, I'm going to have to go with Holy Purification. It's going to be one of your best friends throughout the deeper sections of the caves. This bad boy will sap the remaining miserable life of any mummy that dares block your path, which, by the way, has some pretty good loot on it sometimes. Now, I'm assuming you have the spell memory. Here are the spells you should run with. Protection, Bless, and Divine Strike are going to be your main PvP buffs. And please make sure to always use them in the case that you find yourself in a Mexican standoff with a mob or any player. Lesser Heal is pretty self-explanatory as well. It's just pretty much a healing spell. Please use it. Now that your cleric's all set up, it's time to train your loot goblin skills to the max.
Look at little Goblin Jr.
Most spawn locations will have a chest or body for your loot right when you get into the dungeon. As a cleric, since the character's chances of finding higher quality items is essentially nil, I'd avoid chests altogether and head straight for vases and pots. Although it's up to RNG, these bad boys will almost always have jewelry or gold for you to stash away in those grubby little pockets of yours. Remember, your only objective is to stash away the shinies, not the armor. The armor does not sell for anything. The collector will always pay a pretty penny for the hard-earned jewels that you've collected, so just please don't pick up any armor unless it directly helps your character. Next up, we've got the loot routes. I haven't seen many videos on this yet, so I figured I'd be at least a little bit willing to give up my trade secrets. If you'd be so kind as to politely tap the like or subscribe buttons, it would really help out a ton and motivate me more to make more of these. The 3 most essential spots for any new loot goblin to find his next precious are these. The Goblin Shack on the leftmost side is pretty much a free meal if you spawn west of the map. I haven't really ever seen this spot looted before, even late game, and the goblins are really easy to draw out and single out, and the loot is absolutely delectable. I usually average out around 80 to 60 gold per run when I nab this baby. The next 2 might be a little trickier to get, but they're worth it all the same. The library can be found underground on the southern side, and the pool can be found on the northwestern side. If you can't get to the Goblin Shack safely, I'd highly suggest prioritizing the library over the pool. However, if you're in a squeeze, the pool is filled with tons of jewelry under the water and plenty of chests to satisfy your hungry goblin desires. Please make sure to crack away at those pots and let me know if you found any other grub locations I might be interested in down in the comments. Stay rich, my fellow loot goblins.